Good evening from South Africa, and I believe it's morning. Oh, Brian is here with us in South Africa, so it's evening to you too. And I guess it's morning for everybody else. And thank you so much to the audience for joining us today. So, today we have another exciting AMA, and we'll be talking about virtual reality and HVAC-R scholarships for Africa. So, I have the HVAC-R Asia team with me and the BioFi team. So, if I think our panelists can introduce themselves before we dive into this conversation. So I'll start with the HVAC-R Edu team. Okay,
Okay.
anyone to take that? Chris, we can start
Good
with you.
morning. Yeah, good morning, North America. Good evening, Africa, I guess. Is that right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm Chris Compton, founder and CEO of HVACR which is a online HVACR, heating, ventilating, air conditioning, and refrigeration technology company to train technicians in that workforce. We are a worldwide operation. We have students all over the world. And today we're in Africa, which is amazing. And we're here to provide some assistance for some scholarship applicants. Todd?
Wonderful. My name's Todd. I'm one of the faculty members here and an SME for HVACRDU. And I'm apparently we're having some audio. Does anybody else hear that? Okay.
I hear you.
Okay. Well, it seems like there might be an audio problem because but it's not. Okay. Anyway, I'll try to ignore my double feedback here. But anyway, I'm one of the SMEs here at HVACRDU, and I'm one of the faculty members here. I'm one of the instrumental individuals with creating this 3D interactive program that we are great to, wonderful. It's great to have here for our students and for our learners, bridging that gap between our practical to almost a hands-on, as Chris Compton likes to call it, a mouse on, and it's quite interesting. We're excited to show that to you. And furthermore, what we're doing here with the scholarship is to introduce and announce a scholarship for those. I'm sure Chris and Yoliwe will expand more about that, and I'll let them take that. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you, Told, and I think we do have David as well. I think we can move on. There's David and Brian.
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm David. I'm a developer here at Metavan, in charge of developing the metaverse and HVAC-R EDU modules. I'm excited to be here and showcase one of our interactive modules for you today. Thank you.
And thanks, Yoliwe. We are so excited to be here. And you know how I like to start these things is to really thank the community. We have an incredible community. I'm so appreciative of all the great and wonderful feedback that we receive from the community, the support, just the incredible interaction. You guys are doing a fantastic job. And there are many communities that attend these and that listen to them afterwards. And we have James Pelton and Robert Doyle, Kryptonaires. We have Constellation. We have the Avalanche community, the Arch community, and it just goes on. And we're just so happy to be here today with you guys. And this is a particularly important conversation. I was privy to be part of an interview process for a gentleman, a candidate that is having some connectivity issues right now because of a process here in South Africa called load shedding, which is essentially a planned power outage to distribute the power evenly across the country, because it's limited in its capacity. So it's a way to keep people up and running, by providing the least effect to their lives as possible, through a scheduling system. It's something that we've learned a lot about, and one thing that's given us some design conclusions for products that we have in the market here. And I would say that we're just so happy to be here. And Yaliwe, it was a pleasure, an absolute pleasure to see you at the conference, and an even greater pleasure to sit here on an AMA with you and the HVACR EDU team.
Thank you so much, Brian. I think we still have Chris to go, and then we can dive right into the conversation.
Thanks, Yaliwe, and thanks, team. Good morning, good evening, everyone. I'm Chris Benedict, COO here at Finovant and the BioFi Project. We're really excited to be here with our partners, HVACR EDU, and talk about this, not only the special program that we're bringing to Africa, but to the special the scholarships and the benefits that they are bringing to the continent. So I'll hand it back to Yaliwe. We have a lot to talk about today. So Yaliwe, it's all yours.
Thank you so much, everyone, for the introduction. So I think, as Brian mentioned earlier, we were supposed to have one of the scholarship candidates join us, but because of outside connectivity issues and load shedding, he's still struggling with that. But that won't stop us from diving right into the conversation. So I'd like to start with you, Chris Compton, if you can maybe just tell us a little bit more on what led to the implementation of the scholarship program for Africa and what we're looking at achieving with that.
Sure. First of all, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. All right. So, in answer to your question, my answer is why not? We have students around the world already, and some in Africa. It is something we can do to help people improve their lives. Not only the person receiving the scholarship and training, but I think more importantly, the community that they serve, the community that they live in and work in. One trained technician can improve the lives of many, and it's something we can support easily. Refrigeration technology has a large impact. It is a large impact on food security, for example, and it's also something that a technology that supports an amazing array of other industries and processes. People don't realize how important the refrigeration technology and systems are to all kinds of other aspects of their life. So it's something we can support, something we can help support the world with, if you will. So why not?
Thank you so much for that. And I think one thing that we can also highlight is the power of community. I think Brian mentioned that earlier on in the conversation. So we had a chance to have a conversation with one of the candidates I mentioned earlier, Bongani, with I think it was Brian and myself. And there's one thing we asked. There's one particular question we asked him, and we asked him how he learned about the scholarship program, right? And this was through community outreach. So already you can see that information goes out there pretty quickly if there's something impactful that is happening there to empower the community. So maybe what I would do, I'll just talk a little bit about Bongani from the information that he gave us earlier on. So this is a 20-year-old boy that left KZN, that is, I would say, province in South Africa. It's KwaZulu Natal. That's what it stands for. And he came to Johannesburg hoping to get a scholarship and get into university. And sometimes it's very hard. And it's because, yes, partly because sometimes, looking at the family background, you might not afford to get into university, right? And I'm one of those people that I can attest to that. You could have, the right grades, you can have everything, but because of certain constraints, you're not able to. So he's been he's been doing some part-time jobs, right? Just trying to, meet his needs. But that's too much for a 20-year-old, right? He's supposed to be in school. He's supposed to be pursuing a career and a skill. So maybe I would maybe ask this question: how many of the scholarships have you maybe put in place to empower Africans? And let me just say we can start with that. So I'll follow
I
the question. Yeah, I think Chris.
yeah, we're offering 30 scholarships um, to Africa.
Thank you so much. So, and also still
Did
speaking
that come
on our
through?
interview.
Yeah, it
Yes,
did. It was a little delayed there, Chris. But the Yaliwe, what Chris was trying to mention is that we're offering 30 scholarships throughout the continent of Africa, and they're going to be distributed um, however seems suits with your assistance and those of the ambassadors of the African continent.
absolutely, absolutely. And maybe told if you can just
Yeah.
following up on that, if you can just maybe talk a little bit about what the scholars expect to learn, right? What would they be learning from the scholarship, and how long is the program?
Well, go ahead, Chris. If you have connectivity, why don't you speak on that, Chris?
Sure. Um, what our program? I mean, we have many different programs, but it seems that the appropriate program for Africa would be our refrigeration program, which is quite it's a very significant program. It's probably the most whether it be online or in the classroom in a technical school. It's probably the most detailed and significant program available anywhere. But you would start with, like everything else, you start with the fundamentals of HVACR technology. Uh, the foundation knowledge is a critical part of any training in our HVACR technology workforce. And after going through the uh, fundamental training, which has a lot to do with applied physics, a lot of science kind of topics, that kind of thing. Then we transition into commercial refrigeration systems, how they work, um, how to service them, how to diagnose issues, how to check performance, and so on. The length of the program easily could be 200 plus hours.
Thank you for that, Chris. And just maybe, I think something just came to my mind. I think during our interview with Bongani earlier on, we actually asked him how this program would benefit him, benefit his family, and benefit the community, right? Because like it's all about the people. And so these are some of the things that came up. Obviously, on his side, it's something that would help him um, get employment, right? Probably start a business, and that would obviously directly or indirectly affect his family. But also he mentioned empowering communities through maybe employing others once he starts a business, or maybe training others to be able to do this type of work. So just looking at this conversation, those are some of the answers that came up in our conversation. But we're hoping in the next AMA we can have him here so that he can speak for himself, or maybe one of the other candidates that we have been speaking to. It would be great for the audience to hear from the candidates themselves. I think we have a question from the audience, and the question might be, yes, it says, it's from Nick, and it says, are you guys still in Africa? Brian, would you like to take that?
Yeah, thanks for that question, Nick. So I'm in Cape Town right now. Yaliwe was with us the first couple days of the conference, and then she had to go back to Johannesburg. So she's back there now, Joburg, as they call it. And I'm here in Cape Town through tomorrow, heading back to the Midwest. We have several, follow-on meetings. The conference just wrapped up at 4 o'clock today. So we did a full-on sprint towards the end there. We had a ton of conversations. And let me just say this, every single conversation, I raised this comment about learning in the metaverse, about having virtual reality learning and highlighting the use cases and the modules that we're in the middle of converting. Not to mention, guys, this thing is being done in Spanish as well. So, one beautiful thing about this is in Africa, we'll have a common language in English. In some countries, we do have to straddle a few other languages like French, as an example, and Portuguese, depending on the country. But English is primarily the common and singular language across Africa. And but we do have the Spanish language in there, and everybody is so excited because being able to serve up this kind of training and do it on a scale that DC is able to do it is just incredible. Providing an opportunity for people around the world, and especially in Africa with the refrigeration. So I really appreciated the opportunity, Yiliwei, to sit with you today and go through the interview. That was fantastic. And Nick, we take advantage of every minute that we're here. If we could stay longer, we would, and you guys know how busy our schedules are. We have a lot going on. We are so happy and so excited about everything happening with HVACR EDU. It's an incredible thing that DC is doing here, and especially helping people in Africa. It's really going to benefit their lives incredibly.
Yaliwe, I would like to add some commentary to
Yes, please.
help me out. But Bonanye, is that how you say his name?
Bongani.
Bonani. Okay, Bonani was
Yes.
mentioning how it can help benefit him, his family, and his community. And what you were describing is basically a trickle down effect. Okay, and it's quite honestly in the trades, career technical education, the trades, trickle down effect is quite common. Look at myself. I started off as a student, and then I became a technician, and of course, the technician I moved on to a trainer, and that trainer hat, wearing different hats. That trainer hat led me into education, and so quite frankly, trickle down effect. Bonani could someday become an educator himself in the trades. So it's call it trickle down effect, paying it forward, however, whatever description you want to use it or describe it as, it's got major potential and benefit.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. So I think we'll take some time, maybe a few minutes, to take questions or comments from the audience before we dive into the next set of questions. I think I saw a comment from the audience, and it's from Who Knows, and it says, "This is excellent. I salute the HVACR team for their contribution to the African continent. Programs like this, delivered through a platform like Biometrics Financial, would truly help many there." So that's a positive comment from.
That's an excellent comment.
It is. I don't know if we have any questions, or we can take a few minutes, maybe 2 minutes, to just check if anybody has a question or a comment.
And who knows? This comment or that's on the screen here. That's our nature. That's what we're here to do. We're here to provide that education to learners and students alike, become technicians, and maybe one day become a trainer or an educator.
Absolutely. So, and there's a question from Who Knows again, and it says, "Are there plans to add more verticals for additional fields or trades?" Is it Todd or Chris who's going to take that?
Chris, if you got connectivity, why don't you expand upon that?
Yeah, well, we, our initial adventure in Africa, if you call it that, we've already scholarshiped a couple of people in Africa over the last few years, mostly in refrigeration. actually all of them in refrigeration, because that seems to be the most applicable technology that would be beneficial. However, we also have a very wide range of other topics in the HVACR technology, like building automation, boilers, of course, air conditioning systems. Um, that would be the major areas that we could expand into other verticals, as Who Knows asks about.
And I might add to
our scope is
sorry, Chris.
our scope is specifically HVAC and refrigeration.
Yes.
We are not outside of that scope.
And I might add to that is the beauty about the HVACR trade is it kind of encompasses all of the mechanicals. Okay, so plumbing,
Yeah,
electrical,
yeah,
and of course even a little bit of framing. Okay, you go to a home, to a building or a home, you need to understand a little bit about framing and architecture of some sort. So in a way, HVACR is an umbrella of all the trades combined.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. So I think we'll take one more comment or question from the audience, then we can move on to the next set of questions. Okay, so there's another question, and it says, so could someone partner with you to train people in Africa for tooling or a specific vertical you have expertise in? Meaning, can someone contribute to offer more scholarships to scale this up? That sounds exciting.
Yes, it does. Go ahead, Chris.
talk to me. that's
Yeah.
that's all I can say is talk to me.
Absolutely.
Who knows? Who knows? That's my answer. Who knows? Who knows? But who knows? Talk to me. I'm always interested in any other kind of effort.
Sky's the limit, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The sky is the limit. I think we'll go on to the next set of questions. And David, I'll put you on the spot here because obviously this program is going to involve a lot of immersive learning in the metaverse. So maybe can you just show our audience what immersive learning is?
Yeah, sure. So I have one of our modules here. Let's go through it. You've been dispatched.
Isn't this a beta model or of the one we're currently wrapping up? Is that correct, David?
Yeah, that's correct. So we've been dispatched to 420 Spring Road, and the homeowner has complaints of poor airflow and poor heating. And as the responding technician, we inform the homeowner that we are here to determine the system airflow. So let's go ahead and we have our formula here. Don't be scared by this. This is we did this. Todd provided this, and we color coded everything, so everything is simplified. And,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Yep. So let's go right ahead and proceed to our indoor thermostat and turn the system on with emergency heat. So this will turn our blower on, and we are tasked with taking a measurement, voltage and amperage with our digital multimeter. And remember that volts times amps equals watts. So you're always going to be helped out here. You're going to have all the information you need. You have your log. Everything is, scroll up, down. Everything is here in case you forget something or you lose track of where you were. So let's go up here and let's put that into use right now. So we have to proceed and take our measurement of our amperage. So let's grab our ladder here and grab our multimeter here. Perfect. And now our question is, set your digital multimeter to read amperage. What is your measured amperage for the strip heating? Okay. Well, we have to take our measurement first before we can get our choices to display. So we press V and press V again. And we snap. And you can see here it says 22 amps. So let's go right ahead and do 22 amps. So that's correct. And you can see our value was added to our data collection. We click on that. Here's a, well, let's collect one more value so you can see how it works. Just click on that, press V a couple more times to cycle. And let's take our voltage here. Take our next probe, put in our circuit breaker, and 227 volts. Now, if you choose an incorrect answer, for example, this one, it'll just say incorrect. So 227.3 volts AC, that's correct. So now, with the measured 22 amps and 227.3 volts AC, what is the calculated wattage of the strip heating element? Watts equals volts times amps. So if we multiply our, let's just clean this up real quick. Let's do this here. And we can press P on the keyboard to put that away. So let's bring our data collection out. And if we multiply our amperage by our voltage, we will get our wattage. So in this case, it's you have to be careful about which one you choose here, because 5,000 kilowatts is very different from 5,000 watts. So this is what you want. And that's correct. And you get feedback for that. And as you can see in real time, this was added to our data collection. So you can always refer to this data collection at any time to get your values. So, and now we're tasked with, let's put that back, with using our thermometers to obtain the temperature rise across the heat exchanger by placing one thermometer at our return hole, which is down here, and one thermometer at our supply test hole, which is up here. So let's go ahead and do one of those, and can take some questions if you guys like. You can grab any of these psychrometers. It doesn't matter. Place it, and then you can zoom in. And we are getting 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Notice that as soon as you place this here, your choices become available. So let's try and do this now. 72. Please make sure the blower panels have been replaced for an accurate reading. So the system knows that it'll catch this. If you're trying to take a measurement with this panel removed, it'll be different than if you had it on. So you want it to be on. Now that we have it replaced, 72 degrees. And as you can see, our value has been added to our data collection.
So that's a great learning experience, because you would be prompted to be reminded to follow a process, a correct process to get the right reading.
That's correct. Yep. And would you like to take some questions, or I can keep going? It's up to you guys.
I want to make note, David, is that the quality through the streaming, what we're streaming is doesn't do justice. This is really good quality with the when you're doing it live or not really live. When you're actually you as the user are on your computer, it is impressive.
Oh yeah, it's
but it's been downgraded to 720 through the streaming service that we're using. So
yep. So here we have our duct thermometer probe. Asks what is the temperature in Fahrenheit. So 81, perfect. Let's take that here, correct. And now our with the return air and supply air temperatures measured, what is the temperature change or rise between supply and air return air? So you have all your you have your formula here. If you don't understand it, this will break it down. Todd did an amazing job breaking this down for us. And your delta T pretty much is, you just have to subtract your supply air temp from your return air temp. Let's do that really quickly. We grab our data collection and we take our supply, which is 81, and subtract 72 from it, and we are left with 9. So that is our delta T air temp. And this is what we came here for, to do our CFM, to calculate our CFM. So the formulas are all there, and this is our feedback. Pretty much breaks it all down very eloquently. And this is what we're left with. This is our CFM down here. And yep, that's pretty much it. Let me click on this.
And for those of you guys watching, Biometric Financial just posted the link to download a free trial of this, a free version, and it's actually a different exercise, but nonetheless, it's very similar. It's for leak detection.
Yep. So we have all our values here, and this is pretty much what we are tasked with calculating in this exercise, the CFM. So we answer that, we put our data collection back, and with that, we conclude this exercise.
Perfect.
Yeah. So any questions?
That is so awesome. That is incredible.
Very impressive. It is. It is. Thank you so much, David, for that. So we can take a few questions from the audience, if there are any. Otherwise, I think I have a question myself. So maybe Brian and Chris, you can take this. What are the benefits of virtual reality learning?
So, the benefits are that you can do it over the web. To set up a training center, doesn't matter where, but to set up a training center requires a tremendous amount of equipment and tools and training technologist to staff it. It's a very expensive project versus creating a step-by-step exercise through the metaverse is a fraction of the cost that it would be otherwise. And the practicality of being able to put somebody through an exercise, as you just saw, with prompts and questions about proper applications and so on is it's worth everything. It is not hands-on, but in today's world, with the typical student base out there that is very, very familiar with the web and how to do interactive exercises, I don't think you can beat it. It's just a great way to teach.
Absolutely. Brian, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, I would add to that when you look at what DC has done over the decades, when we first started talking about this and he explained what he was hoping to achieve and drawing that vision for us of how to create something that's immersive, to create something that can change the lives of millions of people and set that vision, it has been nothing but a pleasure to come in here. And we look forward to, we meet twice a week. And I tell you, Todd is incredible, really an incredible guy. Comes in with these amazing thoughts on how to present the training in the immersive experience focus to get people to pick these concepts up. And I've done me personally, I've done a lot of training online, just on a web page over the years, because that's the way it was. That's the way it's always been. But going to this mode of training really changes everything, because you don't have to worry about ripping your shirt on the corner of the HVAC machine. You literally can come in and at your own time and your own speed, load up the module, go through it, take the time to stop. They had some really good thinking to put in a progress indicator so that you can restart if you have to leave and take care of the kids or buy food or take somebody to work, your brother, your sister. And in Africa, these things are incredible. incredible improvements in everybody's life because it helps them to learn. And it does it in a way that we've never been able to provide before. So it creates smarter, better educated workers in the field or people that want to start their own business, like you mentioned earlier. So we are so excited. The immersive experience, the hands-on, and you get this higher level of learning effect and education. I go back to DC and all the work that he did, the vision that he set, and we love working with these guys because they really have passion about this. They really care about it. And we can see that with the scholarships, and we're happy. We're incredibly happy to be here to help with that as well.
One thing I'll add, Yaliwe, is that this doesn't mute the practical, okay, the actual classroom version, if you might want to say. And our classroom version is definitely fully online and accessible to the students' time and priorities. They can do it as they want, as long as they have a computer and a decent internet connection. And so once you do the practical, you can get to this we call mouse on, these learning activities, and put what you learn in the practical to use. And then that way, when they do get out and to do the actual true hands-on at some time, they kind of already have that exposure. They know, oh, that's where that is, or that's where that component is supposed to be. They can see these things in a semi-reality way. So that way, when they get to the field, they are in a deer in the headlights.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think one thing
I would add one thing to all of that. The other thing that the guys did as part of that vision is in the simulation that we just went through. I recognize and it's interesting because in the short time, in the few days that I've been gone, I can see their progress, the amazing progress in just a couple of days that I've been gone here in Cape Town. And I have to tell you, this is one of the fun parts about this is watching that incredible growth of these modules that are being built up. But the beauty, the vision that they had is to take elements and make them reusable, like a tinker toy, where you can take a piece of and continue to build on it. But the baseline, the thing that you're using, you can use it over and over again, the same wheel or spoke or whatever you're trying to build from, you can use that same piece over and over again in the set that you're building. So by having this reusable set of components, every module that gets created in the future is done faster and more efficient because now they've invested time in building up these common elements. That's one benefit that comes along with virtual reality.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, our warehouse.
Yes, please go ahead.
Our equipment warehouse is starting to fill up, so we're going to have to expand the warehouse here soon. But the one thing that I realized years ago when I started this program, it's all about access. That's Todd said accessibility, but the bottom line is it's all about access to quality training for people that might not be able to go anywhere else to get it.
And convenience, comfort of your own home.
Absolutely. Yeah. Convenience is very important as well, accessibility and convenience. And I think another thing that I've seen is you can always go back, right? If you don't understand something, and maybe that's something that you don't always get in the real world, because once the trainer is there, if that's the day you're learning about that, sometimes you might not understand it. But if you can always have, go back and learn the same thing over and over again, practice makes perfect. So I think that's another benefit that would put in there.
Perfect practice makes perfect.
Absolutely. So I think we do have some comments, I think. So this one is from Cassie Hyde, and it says to have real life situational scenarios with the purpose of situational solutions before ever being present at locations is incredible.
Yes. And on that note, a lot of the equipment that we have in here, it's generic. It's not one brand specific. And going from, one brand to another brand to another brand, it's going to be different. And they're going to have different components and different situations. It's how the manufacturer made it, okay? Or the engineer designed it and the manufacturer made it, I should say. But the fact of the matter is, we're staying generic in the terms of, hey, here's your contactor, hey, here's your breaker, hey, here's your inducer, whatever component it might be. We're keeping it a generic scenario, so that way it kind of goes across the board through all manufacturers and all engineering styles.
That is awesome. So I think this should be a suggestion. And it says possibly from Cassie again, and says possibly having a database of situations with given symptoms could be very helpful for diagnosis when getting on site as well.
Yes. And that's the goal. That is our goal.
That's a very astute statement, and that's what we're working towards.
There, we heard it. So I think we've got two more comments, if I'm not mistaken. I think we do have one that I came across from CoinSotem. I don't know if we can pull that app. Chris, are we able to pull that one up? Okay. Oh, I missed that. Okay, so it says, in a world where everyone wants to be an influencer or YouTuber, etc., we will solely need infrastructure trade skill people. Hats off to the BioFi and have HVAC team.
Thank you.
I think there's another comment from Who Knows, and then we can move on to the next question.
Who knows?
I love it.
So it says people have forgotten about learning through practice. See one, do one, teach one is what we say in some of my past professional lives. I wonder how many professional lives. But yeah, thank you so much. So I think we'll move on to the next question, and this is more about the audience and the people interested in the scholarship. So, what is the eligibility criteria? What are we looking at if somebody wants to apply for the scholarship across the continent?
Eligibility, I think, will be understanding the need of the individual, understanding what they might do with this training, how they will benefit, and how their community will benefit, how committed they are, and I wanted to say, oh yeah, okay. So you've got the link up there for the form, the application form. As far as prior training or prior education, I would recommend at least probably a high school level, and then we have to look at the applications and see who is the most needy, what the benefit would be to their community, etc. So this is a first effort. So I guess we will learn as we go.
And on that note, Yaliwe and Chris, is that you don't need to be a math whiz. I know you saw some of those formulas that David had up there. It is elementary, very, very basic algebra, just moving things from one side of the equation to the other. We provide all the formulas you ever need. With the development of the smartphones and everything like that, is a lot of those formulas are there for you. As long as you can find it and you can utilize the formula, that's all we care about. You don't have to become memorize all these formulas that we use in the HVACR industry. As long as you can find them and utilize them and put them to use, that's all that matters.
Awesome.
Yeah, I like what you guys did on the screen there. And by the way, Bangani, his WeChat, I connected with him on WeChat earlier today, and he calls himself Bongs, Bongs, Bongs. That's his short name. So that's a little easier to remember. But I'm sure he would be happy to learn that math and excited to understand it. To get smarter about how to work within the environment. How to diagnose an issue or fix a machine or help install one, or help a business make a decision on which one to purchase.
That's right. Thank you so much. So I think we're coming to the end of the AMA, but I think I do have a last question for everyone. So, how do people get involved with BioFi and HVAC-R if they're people interested in becoming part of this initiative or the community?
Okay. Well, you can go to navigate to our website. I think it's been put up there already, as well as the other website in the comments for the interactive. You can go do a free download. But if you just navigate to our main website, Benedict, if you could put that up, the hvacredu.net. In fact, it's right behind me here. It's right behind Chris. hvacredu.net, and we have a pop-up that comes up as soon as you log in. You can navigate, click there, and it'll take you also to that landing page for the free trial, if you wish. So I encourage it. There's a sample course, and I can even go to the put that up on my screen if you wish, and I can show you guys where you can find the sample course if it'll let me here.
That'll be incredible.
Yeah, let's see it.
Let's see here. Let's go to my share my screen. 1 second. The entire screen. So right now it's on the HVACRU landing page. I'll even put it in so you can see it happen. So if you log there, it comes up here and the pop-up comes up. Oh, we didn't. Oh, there we go. Okay, let me try that again so that way you guys can see. Just put our website in, hvacredu.net, and it'll come up here like this, and this pop-up will pop up right there. You can click here for more details on the 3D Interactive. Okay, you can do that. Also, you have the option to take a free sample course. Right here on this little blackboard, there's some information, some quick links. It says free sample course. You click on that. You can say, hey, I want to take this free sample course and learn a little bit more about what you guys have to offer. And it's this enroll right here. And guess what? It's free, as you can see. So if you enroll free, it'll just kind of give you give me your, we need an email address for to create a login for you. It's taking a minute to load, but could be due to the streaming. But once it does, it'll pop up a form that you can fill out for your information. Oh, there you go. I've just created everything because I'm already logged in. It gave me the I already have all this information put in because it knows who I am. But if you didn't know, you just put in your information and it send you an email and you get an access. They'll send you an email and you can log in and take a free sample course. It's quite awesome, quite interesting, and going back to it. So there's some of our featured products. So if you want other things that are in our store, you can definitely navigate there as well.
Thank you, Todd.
Let me stop sharing so you could do the same if you wish.
Thanks.
There you go.
So thanks, Todd. So I've put in the chat already. It's in the comments, a couple of places to find out more information about Biometric Financial. You can use our website, biometricfinancial.org. Let me get there and I'll share that for you. Or you can follow us on Twitter. Either place is a great place to get in contact. Twitter is a lot more active, obviously. You can get engaged with the community and ask questions. You can ask us questions. You can even use our Telegram, which is BioFi Community. Easy to remember. But one of the things I'd like to show very quickly is this was an idea that came out of our community. And where is it? Here it is. And we have a referral program in place. If you see, it's loading now. Okay, so on every page on biometricfinancial.org, on every page of our website, there's this little box here. It's a referral. So if you're part of a project or you know a project or a business that you think you would like to refer over, that would be a good fit for the community, whether it's getting involved in the educational efforts with HVACR, whether it's getting involved in some of the other efforts we have going on, the biometrics security or anything we have on our website, you can fill out this form. The benefit of this is if you or the company that you refer to us does business with us, you can get paid out in BioFi, in our token. So you get rewarded for bringing new value to the ecosystem, which is what we're all about. So that's how you get involved with us. The social channels are really busy. They're really active. So come on in, say hello, and get to know everybody. It's a great place to find out about the project.
One thing, whoever the moderator is, Who knows? Put another question up there. Are you open to partners with universities? Absolutely. You can send myself. It's my first name, Todd, Todd, at hvacrdu.net, and I can put you in the right connections with either Chris, or you could contact Chris himself. Chris, did you want to give out your email? I imagine you don't mind.
Sure. Yeah. Put it out there.
Yeah. So it's cc or c Compton rather at hvacrdu.net.
The in regards to that question, we do partner with higher ed organizations.
Yeah.
And have had for years.
Okay. Emails are out.
Both institutions that I used to work for partnered with HVACR in the past before I came aboard here. So, absolutely.
That's fantastic. And this is an area, guys, that I think is a fantastic area. You know, like in addition to having the multilingual, the Spanish, working in the continent of Africa, this is an area that is important to have those educational institutions. That's fantastic to get those lined up. That's a great question. Great comment.
Yeah, as a additional comment to that question, we are an accredited organization. We're accredited by the same accreditation agency that accredits all the HVACR programs, public or private.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And I think there's another comment from Who Knows, and it says, excellent, I can help you with a few. So
I like it.
Yeah, I think we'll keep that moving. So I don't know if there's any more questions from the audience. We can take a few minutes to take one or two questions before we come to the end of this AMA.
Okay, we can give them a moment. I don't see any right now. We'll give them a moment to type them in.
Well, if they do think of any questions, comments at a later time, you both have our websites, and you can do it, and acquire that way. Or you have Chris's email, my email as well for the HVACR EDU team. Send us an email, and
Absolutely.
we'd love to help you out and answer your questions if you think of something post the show.
Yeah, and I would highlight too that we there was a recent press release that went out. I would encourage to read that. That was an incredible press release on behalf of HVACR EDU, going to and this is really a competitive differential. Having the Spanish language brought into every virtual reality module that goes through this build process. And it's such a differentiator, and it shows the commitment to multilingual and other cultures. And I think it's fantastic.
Thank you so much, everyone. And thank you so much to our panelists for the time, and to our audience for being such a great audience. We've come to the end of another exciting AMA. So I'm sure we will be back very soon. Well, so there is a question. Is Phoenix X going to play some role in all of this?
And Tomo, that's a great question. So, guys, let's think about this for a minute. Yaliway is a incredible force within the I'll call it the Web3 or the decentralized finance space, which underneath that is all of this, right? It's metaverse, it's AI, it's blockchain, it's crypto, and underneath all of this, you have these latest and greatest technologies. Virtual reality being one that is really starting to take shape, and HVACR EDU is ahead of the game on this. They're actually out there ahead of the game, leading the pack. And when we think about how do we serve up these modules, how do we serve up virtual reality? Well, one way to do that is on the Phoenix X phone, which is about ready to be launched in the continent of Africa. So our commitment to the purchasers of that device will be that we can take the virtual reality modules that are built here, and through a cross-platform capability, serve them up on the phone. So whether it's Bongs, who we interviewed earlier, and we'll bring him back on another AMA, by the way. somebody that he's got an Android device that will be upgraded to a Phoenix X. He will be able to access this content and learn on that phone. And this is an amazing thing to be able to, take the HVACR EDU modules and put them onto a tablet, put them onto an Android device, the Phoenix X, and in its existing format on the Microsoft platforms. So we're very excited about that. And I must say, Apple, it'll support the iOS, iPhone, and the tablet, the iPhone, and the tablet that Apple has, the iPad. All of these things are important areas. They're important platforms for serving up this content. But we're so excited about that, and something that we think is going to be a big game changer, having it served up on the Phoenix X.
Thank you so much, Brian. And I think we'll just take this last question before we leave. So, and it's from Tomo again, and it says, is it some preload software or?
So the way that the modules work, and Todd, you can, and DC can correct me here. The idea is that you sign up for a single module or a program as part of a series of learning assignments that you get leading on the way to that certificate. So the scholarship that we talked about earlier is like a 200-hour composium of the different learnings that you need to be effective in the field. Each one of those is accessed individually. So at the time that you need it, you'll get access to it, which would mean a download at that point.
To download of the latest version too, mind you.
Yes. And that's correct, right, Todd?
Yes, correct. And the only thing you was incorrect is it's usually not a module level. It's usually either course or a program. And there's modules within the course, and then of course the program has a set of courses in each program, depending on which program it is.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Awesome. And thank you so much once again for joining us. And it was great having you, to both the panelists and the audience. So we'll see you soon with another exciting AMA. Thank you
very
and
much.
Thanks, everyone.
Great
Bye now.
job.